Have you ever noticed that the people whose names are remembered never live the safest lives? Think about it. When was the last time you heard an unforgettable story that began with someone saying, "I stayed comfortable, I avoided every challenge, and I never took a chance"? You haven't, because comfort doesn't create stories. It creates routines. And routines are good for survival. But they are terrible if you want to become someone unforgettable. If there's no risk in your step, there's no story in your name. Read that again in your own mind. Because your future depends on whether you understand this or not. Right now, there are two versions of your life waiting for you. One version is safe, predictable, quiet. You wake up, do what everyone else is doing. Follow the crowd. Stay inside your limits. Never speak when you have something to say. Never build what you've been dreaming about. Never chase the opportunity because you're waiting for the perfect moment. Years pass. Nothing changes. You become another person with unlimited potential, but limited courage. Then there's the second version. The version where your hands shake before making a decision. The version where you don't know if you'll succeed. The version where people doubt you, laugh at you, question you. The version where failure becomes a real possibility. But so does greatness. Most people don't lose because they aren't talented. They lose because they're addicted to certainty. They want guarantees before they move. They want proof before they believe. They want success before they start. Life doesn't work that way. Life rewards those who move before they feel ready. The truth is simple. You'll never feel completely prepared. The fear won't disappear. The doubts won't magically leave your mind. The perfect time will never arrive. If you're waiting for confidence before taking action, you'll spend your entire life waiting. Confidence is not something you find. It's something you build, one difficult step at a time. You know what's dangerous? It's not failing. It's waking up 10 years from now with the same dreams you have today. Imagine standing in front of the mirror years from now, looking at the person staring back at you, knowing you could have done more, knowing you had the talent, the opportunity, the time, but you chose comfort instead. That pain is heavier than failure. Failure hurts for a moment. Regret stays for a lifetime. Every successful person you've ever admired paid a price that most people refuse to pay. They faced rejection, embarrassment, sleepless nights, uncertainty, criticism. They weren't fearless. They were simply more committed to their dreams than they were attached to their comfort. Ask yourself something. What risk have you taken recently that scared you? Not excited you, scared you. Because if your life feels too comfortable, there's a good chance you've stopped growing. Growth has always demanded discomfort. Every stronger version of yourself is hiding behind a decision you've been avoiding. That business, that career, that skill, that conversation, that first step you've been delaying. It's waiting, not for the perfect version of you, but for the brave version of you. Remember this. Your name will never become a story if every chapter looks exactly the same. Your future is written by the risks you're willing to take today. So stop asking whether it's safe. Start asking whether it's worth it. Because one courageous decision can change a life that years of comfort never will. Let me tell you something that most people don't want to hear. Nobody is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your family, not luck, not tomorrow. The life you've been dreaming about is waiting on one person. You. That sounds harsh, but it's also the most powerful truth you'll ever hear. Because the moment you stop waiting for someone else to change your life, you finally become the person who can. Some people spend years blaming everything around them. They blame where they were born. They blame their parents. They blame money. They blame their age. They blame the economy. They blame bad luck. They blame everyone except the person they see in the mirror every morning. Listen carefully. Your circumstances can explain your situation, but they cannot become your permanent excuse. There are people who started with less than you, less money, less support, less education, less confidence, and somehow they still build a life that people said was impossible. Do you know why? Because while everyone else was collecting excuses, they were collecting discipline. The world doesn't reward the person with the saddest story. It rewards the person who keeps moving despite the story. That's the difference. You don't need a perfect beginning. You need an honest commitment. You need to stop negotiating with your own potential. Every morning, you make silent decisions. You either choose comfort or you choose growth. You either choose distraction or you choose progress. You either choose another excuse or you choose another step forward. Those choices seem small, but they are shaping your future every single day. People think success happens in one big moment. It doesn't. Success is built in the moments nobody notices. When you wake up early, even though your bed is calling you back. When you keep working after everyone else has stopped. When you continue learning while others are scrolling endlessly. When you stay focused while everyone around you is chasing entertainment. Those moments don't look impressive, but they build impressive lives. Here's the truth that many people avoid. You cannot build an extraordinary life with ordinary habits. Read that again in your mind. If every day looks exactly like yesterday, don't expect tomorrow to look different. Change begins long before results appear. There will be days when your hard work feels invisible. Days when nobody claps for you. Days when it feels like you're moving without making progress. Keep going. Seeds grow underground long before anyone sees a tree. Just because you can't see the results doesn't mean nothing is happening. Your discipline is building something your eyes cannot see yet. And this is where most people quit. They mistake silence for failure. They think because success hasn't arrived yet, it never will. So they stop. They give up one step before their breakthrough. Don't become one of them. You didn't come this far just to return to the life you're trying to escape. Every difficult day is asking you one question. How badly do you want the life you keep talking about? Because dreams are cheap. Everyone has dreams. Action is expensive. Action demands energy, sacrifice, patience, consistency, and the courage to continue when nothing feels certain. That's why so few people make it. Not because success is impossible, but because most people refuse to pay the price. The uncomfortable truth is this. Your future doesn't care about your intentions. It only responds to your actions. You can plan for years. You can watch motivational videos every day. You can tell everyone what you're going to do. But until your feet move, your life won't. One bold step is worth more than 1,000 perfect plans. So make yourself a promise today. No more waiting. No more excuses. No more asking for permission to chase the life you want. The next chapter of your story begins the moment you decide that your excuses no longer deserve control over your future. There comes a moment in every person's life when they have to choose between two kinds of pain. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. You cannot escape both. One will find you. The only question is which one you're willing to live with. The pain of discipline wakes you up before the sun. It forces you to train when you're tired, to study when your mind wants entertainment, to keep working when nobody is watching. It burns today, but it builds tomorrow. The pain of regret is different. It doesn't hit you immediately. It waits. It grows quietly over the years. Then one day it asks you a question that breaks people from the inside. What if I had just tried? That question has destroyed more dreams than failure ever could. Because failure gives you lessons. Regret gives you memories of chances you never took. Stop worrying about looking foolish. Nobody remembers the person who failed while chasing something meaningful. People remember the person who never had the courage to even begin. You know what's funny? The people laughing at your dreams usually aren't building anything themselves. They're sitting comfortably, watching others take risks they never had the courage to take. Never let advice from people who have never fought your battles decide your future. If someone has never sacrificed for greatness, never carried the weight of a dream, never walked through uncertainty, then they cannot tell you what's possible. Their limits are not your limits. Too many people borrow fear from people who have never been brave. Don't do that. Protect your mind. Protect your ambition. Protect your vision. Because the world will always try to shrink people who dare to think bigger. The moment you decide to become different, expect resistance. Some people will question you. Some will doubt you. Some will secretly hope you fail because your success reminds them of the risks they were too afraid to take. Don't hate them. Just don't become them. Remember this. Every great journey looks unreasonable in the beginning. when someone starts a business. People call them unrealistic. When someone trains every single day, people call them obsessed. When someone sacrifices parties to build a future, people say they're missing out. But years later, the same people ask for the secret. There was never a secret. There was only sacrifice that nobody wanted to make. Understand something. Your dream is expensive. If it were cheap, everyone would have it. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you sleep. It will cost you entertainment. It may even cost you relationships with people who only like the old version of you. Pay the price anyway, because the life you want is worth more than the comfort you're protecting. Every champion you admire was once unknown. Every successful person was once ignored. Every confident person was once afraid. The difference is they refused to let fear become their identity. Fear is a feeling. It is not a command. Just because you're scared doesn't mean you stop. It means you're standing at the edge of growth. Walk forward anyway. Imagine your future self looking back at this exact moment. What would they want you to do? Stay comfortable, or take the step that changes everything? You already know the answer. Deep down, you've always known it. The only thing left is the decision. Not tomorrow, not next Monday, not next year, today. Because every day you delay your dream, you're giving your future away to a weaker version of yourself. Your story is waiting to be written, but stories are never written by people who refuse to turn the page. So take the risk, accept the struggle, embrace the uncertainty, and keep walking, because one day, the life that feels impossible today will become the life you almost gave up on. Most people think courage feels like confidence. It doesn't. Courage feels like fear with a decision attached to it. If you're waiting to stop being afraid before you make your move, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. The strongest people aren't fearless. They're just tired of letting fear make every decision for them. Look at your life for a second. How many opportunities have you lost because you overthought them? How many conversations did you never have? How many ideas did you never start? How many goals did you quietly bury because you were afraid of failing? Now imagine if you had acted instead of hesitated. Your entire life could be different. The truth is brutal. Overthinking has stolen more dreams than failure ever will. You don't need another month to think. You need one day to begin. Action creates clarity. Waiting creates confusion. The more you delay, the heavier the first step becomes. That's why you must move before your mind convinces you not to. Your brain is designed to keep you safe, not successful. It wants what is familiar, even if familiar is making you miserable, even if familiar is keeping you broke, even if familiar is keeping you average. Your comfort zone doesn't care about your dreams. It only cares about keeping everything the same. If you want a different life, you have to become a different person, not by pretending, not by talking, by doing. Every single day, people love to say they want success. But very few people want the lifestyle that success demands. Everyone wants the result. Very few want the process. They want the trophy, but not the training. They want the applause, but not the lonely hours. They want the victory, but not the discipline. Life doesn't work like that. You don't earn the reward before the work. You earn it because of the work. There will be mornings when your motivation disappears. Good, because motivation was never meant to carry you. Discipline was. Motivation comes and goes like the weather. Discipline stays even when the sky is dark. There will be days when you feel invisible, when nobody notices your effort, when nobody believes in your vision. Keep going anyway. The tree doesn't stop growing because nobody is watching it. It grows because growing is what it was created to do. You weren't created to spend your life watching other people live theirs. You were created to build something that carries your name. But that name will never mean anything if you refuse to put on the line. Every risk you avoid today becomes another reason you'll wonder what could have been tomorrow. Stop protecting a life that doesn't excite you. Start building one that does. The world doesn't owe you success. It doesn't owe you opportunities. It doesn't owe you recognition. If you want those things, go earn them. One early morning at a time. One difficult decision at a time. One uncomfortable step at a time. One promise kept to yourself at a time. Because every time you keep a promise to yourself, you become stronger. Every time you break one, you teach yourself that your own word doesn't matter. Make your word valuable. When you say you're going to work, work. When you say you're going to improve, improve. When you say you're going to change your life, prove it. Not to the world, to yourself. Because at the end of the day, the only person who has to believe your story is the one staring back at you in the mirror. There is something you need to understand before this video ends. Life keeps moving whether you move or not. Time doesn't stop because you're afraid. The clock doesn't slow down because you're confused. The world doesn't pause while you wait for the perfect opportunity. Every single day you delay, someone else is taking the chance you were too afraid to take. Someone else is building the business you keep talking about. Someone else is learning the skill you said you would start. Someone else is becoming the person you promised yourself you would become. Read that again. The gap between you and the life you want isn't always talent. Most of the time, it's speed. It's the willingness to act while everyone else is still thinking. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You don't have to be the most gifted. You just have to become the person who refuses to quit. Quitting is easy. Average is easy. Excuses are easy. Scrolling for hours is easy. Complaining is easy. Talking about your dreams is easy. But building them, that's hard. And that's exactly why so few people ever do it. You keep saying you want a different life. Then stop repeating the same days. Your habits are voting for your future every single day. Every workout is a vote. Every book you read is a vote. Every hour you spend learning is a vote. Every promise you keep to yourself is a vote. The person you become isn't decided in one massive moment. It's decided by thousands of small decisions that nobody else sees. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You cannot cheat your way to greatness. There is no shortcut around discipline. There is no hack that replaces consistency. There is no secret formula that removes sacrifice. The people who inspire you didn't skip the hard part. They mastered it. While others searched for easier roads, they became stronger by walking the difficult one. Stop asking why your life isn't changing. Start asking whether your actions have changed. Because results follow actions. Not wishes, not intentions, not motivational speeches. Action, nothing else. There will always be someone who doubts you. Let them. There will always be someone who underestimates you. Let them. There will always be someone who says it can't be done. Let them talk. While they talk, you work. While they judge, you improve. While they hesitate, you move. One day, the results will speak so loudly that your words won't have to. Remember this. Your greatest competition isn't another person. It's the version of you that keeps choosing comfort over growth. Defeat that version again and again. Every morning, every evening, every single day, when the battle inside your mind and the battles outside become much easier. Years from now, people will either know your name because of the risks you took, or they won't know it at all because you spent your life protecting yourself from failure. The choice has always been yours. No one else can make it. No one else can live your life. No one else can write your story. So stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for confidence. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions. The conditions will never be perfect, but your decision can be. Make today the day you stop watching life happen and become the reason your future self smiles with pride instead of looking back with regret. If you stayed with me until this moment, then I want you to hear these final words with your full attention. One day, people will ask you how your life changed. They'll want to know what the turning point was. They'll look for some secret, some lucky break, some magical opportunity, but you'll know the truth. The turning point wasn't luck. It wasn't talent. It wasn't perfect timing. It was the day you stopped making excuses. It was the day you accepted that nobody was coming to rescue you. It was the day you decided that your future was your responsibility. That is the day your story truly begins. Always remember this. The world doesn't remember the people who played every move safely. It remembers the people who believed in something so deeply that they were willing to risk comfort for it. History belongs to those who move, not those who watch. The biggest risk isn't failing. The biggest risk is living such a careful life that when it's over, there's nothing worth remembering. Don't let that become your story. You were not born to spend your life hiding behind fear. You were not born to become another face in the crowd. You were born with the ability to create, to build, to lead, to grow, to leave something behind that speaks long after you're gone. But none of that happens without action. Dreams demand effort. Success demands sacrifice. Greatness demands discipline. And every one of those demands a decision. The decision to keep showing up. Even when you're tired. Even when you're doubted. Even when you're afraid. Even when nobody believes in you. Because one day, the same people who questioned your journey will see the results they never thought were possible. Not because you were special, but because you refused to stop. So from this moment forward, stop asking yourself whether you're good enough. Start asking yourself whether you're willing to work hard enough. Because talent can open a door, but only discipline keeps it open. Don't wait for another motivational video. Don't wait for another Monday. Don't wait for another month. When this video ends, take one step, just one. Make the phone call. Start the workout. Open the book. Build the business. Learn the skill. Write the first page. Apply for the opportunity. Do something that your future self will thank you for. Because action changes lives, not intentions. If there's no risk in your step, there's no story in your name. But if you choose courage over comfort, discipline over excuses, and action over fear, then one day your name won't just belong to you. It will become a story that inspires someone else to keep going. And if this message spoke to you, if it challenged you, if it made you think differently, I hope you'll stay connected with this community by subscribing to the channel. Leave a like if this video gave you the push you needed today. Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us what risk you're finally ready to take and what kind of story you want your name to tell. Your words might become the motivation that someone else needs to read today. And if you know someone who's been holding themselves back because of fear, share this video with them. It might be the reminder that changes the direction of their life. Now close this video, stand up, take the first step, and start writing a story that is impossible to ignore. Your future is waiting. Don't keep it waiting any longer.